Burnout 3 Takedown. Burnout 3 Takedown was unlike any racing game at the time. While most racing titles focused on realism or circuit-based competitions, Burnout 3 thrived on pure chaos. From the very first race, the game demanded more than precision driving. It demanded aggression, timing, and a willingness to throw every vehicle in your path into destruction. The takedown system, which rewarded players for ramming opponents into walls, traffic, and hazards, transformed ordinary races into spectacular cinematic spectacles. Players would feel a thrill every time they collided with an opponent, watching them explode into spinning wrecks with sparks and debris flying across the screen. Its crash mode became legendary. Entire nights were spent launching cars into intersections, calculating angles, and creating the largest chain reactions possible. The physics, while over the top, were addictive, and the scoring system encouraged both creativity and destruction. DJ Atomika's energetic narration provided that adrenaline-soaked soundtrack, elevating every race to a personal action movie. Even the multiplayer mode, where friends competed not just to win races but to see who could cause the most destruction, added an entirely new social layer to the experience. Burnout 3 wasn't just a game, it was a ritual, a shared experience that bonded players through chaos and laughter. Yet, as Criterion Games moved toward Need for Speed and the racing genre shifted toward realism, Burnout 3 slowly became a relic, a nostalgic whisper from the mid-2000s that many haven't thought about in years. Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus introduced players to the world of stealth in a way that felt like a Saturday morning cartoon. Sly, the charismatic raccoon thief, and his companions Bentley and Murray brought charm, humor, and a sense of adventure that felt fresh and unique for the PlayStation 2 era. The cel-shaded graphics gave the world a storybook quality, making every level feel like a meticulously crafted comic panel in motion. What made Sly Cooper unforgettable wasn't just the aesthetics or the platforming. It was the sense of mastery and stealth. Players had to sneak, climb, and jump in ways that made them feel clever and engaged. Hidden collectibles encouraged exploration, while boss battles required both strategy and precision. And yet, despite its critical acclaim and dedicated fanbase, Sly Cooper slowly receded from the mainstream conversation. Its sequels followed, but in the current gaming era, the original trilogy is rarely discussed outside of dedicated nostalgia circles. Still, mention Sly Cooper today and fans will instantly recall the thieving raccoon, the jazzy soundtrack, and the thrill of a perfect stealth takedown. Jak and Daxter. The precursor legacy. Before Naughty Dog became synonymous with cinematic storytelling, Jak and Daxter delivered a seamless 3D platforming adventure that defined the early 2000s. From the moment players jumped into the colorful, vibrant world of Precursor Island, they were immersed in a universe brimming with charm, creativity, and humor. The gameplay was fluid, the worlds interconnected, and the characters unforgettable. Especially the comical duo of Jak and his wisecracking companion Daxter. The brilliance of the game lay in its seamless world. There were no loading screens, no interruptions. Every transition between landscapes felt natural, giving the impression of a fully realized world rather than a series of levels. Players would traverse forests, caves, cities, and deserts, encountering both platforming challenges and enemies that required a combination of agility and strategy. Yet despite its groundbreaking mechanics and polished design, Jak and Daxter has slowly faded from the modern gaming consciousness. While sequels expanded the narrative and introduced combat-focused gameplay, the original still remains a hidden gem for those who played it at launch. A reminder of a simpler era when 3D platformers were both magical and challenging. Time Splitters 2. Time Splitters 2 was a first-person shooter that didn't just aim to entertain, it aimed to redefine multiplayer chaos. While the gaming world was dominated by franchises like Halo and Medal of Honor, Time Splitters 2 injected humor, speed, and replayability into a genre often defined by seriousness. The single-player campaign took players through a ridiculous series of missions across time periods, from futuristic dystopias to ancient Egypt, each brimming with absurd characters, quirky weapons, and Easter eggs. But the game truly shone in multiplayer, Arena battles allowed up to 4 players to compete on highly interactive maps with crazy weapons, destructible environments, and custom map editors. Hours could be spent tweaking levels, experimenting with game modes, and seeing who could survive the most outrageous scenarios. The combination of humor, creativity, and accessibility made it a cult classic, yet overshadowed by more prominent shooters. Time Splitters 2 is remembered by fans as a perfect mix of chaos, nostalgia, and fun. The kind of game that was celebrated in sleepovers and LAN parties, but rarely mentioned in today's mainstream conversations. Rayman 3: Hoodlum Havoc. Rayman 3 brought players into a universe that was absurd, vibrant, and endlessly imaginative. The title combined platforming, combat, and humor in a way that felt effortlessly unique. From the moment players encountered the mischievous hoodlums to the eccentric worlds they traversed, every level was filled with personality and charm. The game's design encouraged exploration, clever timing, and creative thinking, often rewarding curiosity with hidden paths, extra lives, or new abilities. What made Hoodlum Havoc particularly memorable was its tone. Unlike many platformers that took themselves too seriously, Rayman 3 balanced challenge with whimsy. Enemies were cartoonish but engaging, levels were visually inventive, and the soundtrack perfectly complemented the zany worlds. Over time, as 2D platformers returned in popularity with the Rayman Origins series, Hoodlum Havoc became a fond memory for those who played it during its PS2 and GameCube era. It's one of those games whose name can instantly spark vivid recollections, yet one that many haven't thought of in years. Destroy All Humans. Destroy All Humans offered a completely different perspective. Instead of playing as humans fighting aliens, players embodied the alien invader. Crypto, the sarcastic extraterrestrial, wreaked havoc across a fictional 1950s America. The game combined satire, humor, and open-world destruction, giving players freedom to cause chaos in ways that were absurd and delightful. The combination of psychic powers, flying saucer gameplay, and alien weaponry provided a fresh twist on sandbox games at the time. The mission structure allowed players to approach objectives creatively, abduct humans, destroy buildings, or simply experiment with powers. Unlike many games of its era, Destroy All Humans didn't take itself seriously, yet it delivered polished gameplay mechanics that were both satisfying and fun. Although the series received a modern remake, the original game still lingers in the memories of players who enjoyed its humor, its irreverence, and its pure sandbox chaos. For many, the game's absurdity and charm remain unforgettable, even if it's rarely mentioned in modern gaming discussions. Simpsons: Hit and Run. Simpsons: Hit and Run captured the chaotic humor and charm of Springfield in a way that few licensed games have managed. Designed as a family-friendly GTA-style adventure, it allowed players to explore the world of The Simpsons freely, completing missions, unlocking vehicles, and interacting with familiar characters. What made it exceptional was the attention to detail. The voice acting, the jokes, the cultural references, and the world design all captured the spirit of the show perfectly. Players could drive around Springfield, participate in crazy missions, and experience Easter eggs that only true fans would notice. The mix of platforming, driving, and exploration created endless hours of entertainment. But licensing issues and the rise of other titles pushed Simpsons: Hit and Run out of mainstream awareness. Yet mention its name today, and those who played it can immediately recall the music, the humor, and the unforgettable chaos of the streets of Springfield. It's a classic example of a game that many haven't thought of in years, but whose legacy is still alive in memory. Drop a comment below and let me know which game you remember the most. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss more videos exploring forgotten games, hidden classics, and stories from gaming history. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.